welcome to the stage co-founder of Moving Worlds, Mark Horoszowski.
Awesome. What an absolute honor and privilege to be here. I think especially in this angle because I can see some incredible signs. There's actually one guy right there that has the best sign. You can see it. It says so. I know signs. I make the best signs. They're terrific. Everyone agrees. But really, thank you for being here. Now, my name is Mark Horoszowski. I lead an organization that helps people volunteer their skills around the world on their own time or through corporate-sponsored programs. I also lecture at the University of Washington on corporate social responsibility, and in my own free time, I volunteer with the American Cancer Society, co-leading a strategy team that helps mobilize 2.5 million volunteers every year. I live this stuff. I dream this stuff. But when things like this happens, when things like unconstitutional executive orders happen, I have the exact same emotion that all of you have. And that's why I'm here as well. It's that pit of despair that sitting around the table being like, what do we do? I have spent, I don't know how many evenings the past 3 months just head in hand saying, what do I do with my friends? What do I do with our organization? What do I do with the students that I'm teaching? What I realized, and this hit me, and I hope it hits you too, and this is what I'm going to talk about, is that this isn't a short-term fix. We live in a culture, it's this very go, make shit happen, new apps, new designs, new interfaces. We go and we're used to seeing results. This isn't like that. We're working on deep-rooted systemic issues that take time. I'll give you an example. Women's suffrage. The first convention organizing women to vote, 1848, Seneca Falls Convention. Gets on the Constitution, 1920. A report this year from EY said gender pay parity will take another 170 years to rectify. That's too long. But it's because we're so focused on short-term gains, we forget the importance of working on long-term challenges. We're working on deep-seated cultural, economic, and political challenges. And to solve those, we need 3 things. We need your time, we need your energy, and we need your skills. And that's what I'm going to talk about for the next few minutes here. I want to start with time. Like I said, these require massive amounts of long-term commitments, and I'm going to draw a parallel here to the ways that we donate. You know, the ACLU this year received record-setting donations. This incredible bolus of capital is awesome in the short term. In the long term, for those of you working in nonprofits, you know it's painful. Are you going to get that next year, 2 years, 5 years? You don't know. It comes and then it goes. That's why one of the best ways to support with your money is to set up long-term monthly recurring donations. Volunteering is the same way. Your one day of service, whether it's with your company on your own, it's nice for a short-term patch, but it doesn't solve a root cause issue. We need you for the long term. We need your vacation every year, even if it's only half of it. We need part of your sabbatical. How about a weekend per month, a weeknight per week? Or maybe if you're a company, you can sponsor a day of giving every month, as some do. It's that long-term recurring capital that lets organizations say, I know how I can utilize people now. And I'll give you an example of how this works in the real world. Through Moving Worlds, we helped a wonderful UX designer from a large Seattle-based e-commerce and web services company that isn't exactly known for its culture to go volunteer her own UX skills to support a women cooperative move to an online place where that cooperative could sell their fair trade goods and fabrics. Now, years later, that organization now being able to sell online, even though she only used 1 week of her vacation and then 4 months of very part-time virtual support, has able to continue to grow. Double-digit percentage growth every year. And we've caught up with her, Diana, for years after years. We actually got to publish a story in Harvard Business Review about her. Because when she went back to her company, again, a company not known for encouraging this activity, when she went to that company, she went to her manager and said, I'm qualified to get to the next level as a manager because look what I just did. And she used that as part of her promotion. And indeed, volunteering is an incredible way to grow. And it's that symbiotic relationship that actually keeps people volunteering longer and longer. Giving your time to a volunteer effort is not a sacrifice. It's a gift. It's one of the greatest gifts that we have. As Mahatma Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So first, give your time. Secondly, your energy. Now I know we're in Silicon Valley, I know everybody here knows about the World Wide Web, but we're going to go to a quick biology lesson and talk about the Wood Wide Web. There is an actual underground neural network in healthy forests connecting plants, forests, and fungi. Neural signals, electrical signals travel through this, as do minerals and sugar. And if you look at a healthy forest, what you'll see is that forests actually grow all about the same height. That's because those trees that are most capable of growing the fastest actually stall their own growth, and they inject sugar back through that neural network into their systems. And so individually, as your priorities change, right now you're fired up politics, I love that. In 2 years, maybe there's a natural disaster that grabs your attention. A couple years after that, and God forbid, but if something happens in your family, it's a medical emergency, and you focus on healthcare issues, you should do it. You should be encouraged to do it. But collectively, our collective forest continues to grow. Our collective priorities don't change, only our individual. Again, we're working on long-term changes. So whenever you can, inject energy back into that. Not by doing what you want to do, but by doing what the ecosystem needs. I know I just gave the example of Diana working on a website, but don't just go build a website for the first organization that you find. Instead, take time learning about organizations and then do what they need. And if you need guidance for that, if you need tips for that, IDEO has a great open source tool called the Design Toolkit. You can find that at designtoolkit.org, I believe. And the third thing we need from everybody is we need your skills. Report after report, and this is a newer trend from the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, show that one of the biggest barriers to progress is a lack of access to skills. Now, we know tech companies care about this, and that's why they're fighting for immigration rights right now, because they need skills. But you know what? So do local nonprofits. So do international nonprofits. So do community organizers. We need skills in order to effectively grow and solve challenges. But here's where something incredible happens. Research after research after research shows that if you volunteer your skills, you learn new skills in return. Now, perhaps you volunteer engineering skills. In return, you learn empathy and cross-cultural collaboration. As tech stands for, by volunteering in other groups, you build empathy, you build bridges between other cultures and services so that we are all able to grow collectively together. So we need your skills. Now, if you want to go overseas, I'll give a shameless plug for movingworlds.org. I think we're a great place for that. But over here, there's incredible local organizations that could use your skills. We're not on display here. Afterwards, you go talk to them and you find places where you can volunteer your skills. And if you don't go over there, Taproot Plus, Catch a Fire, and volunteer.linkedin.com, LinkedIn's for Good platform, is an incredible place to find local skills-based projects. If you only have a few hours virtually, skillsforchange.com, great place to find virtual skills-based work. See, there's no shortage of ways to give our expertise in ways that make meaningful change. What's needed is a commitment to do so. So what we see, and what we continue to see, is that companies are actually starting to invest in getting their employees to volunteer overseas. We support a program at Microsoft that sends over 100 volunteers every year across Africa. What's incredible is not what they do when they're there, but what they do when they come back. They stay engaged. They mobilize their communities. They mobilize their social networks to also give more locally and to mentor and to support. So as you go from here, remember, 1, give your time. Find an accountability buddy. Find a family member, a coworker to hold you accountable. Put a goal up on the fridge for what you can do and give your time. 2, give your energy. Ask what the world needs and then go do that. And 3, give your skills. Find real, meaningful skills-based projects that actually solve deep-rooted systemic issues. It's interesting that we live in a time where what the world needs most is not your money, but your heart, your brain, and your time. And I promise you, if you give those, you will feel all of those come back to you exponentially, also with love. Thank you so much for being here. This has been such an honor. Thank you.